everybody. Welcome to the show. I have my friend Wendi Nunnery here with me today, and we are going to check out something by Aurora. Her song, The Seed. Now, I'm familiar with Aurora. Wendi, what do you know about her?
Absolutely nothing, except for the fact that you just told me that she does some vocalizations on Frozen.
There we go. So I'm introducing my friend to Aurora, all things Aurora, and we're going to check out her live performance of The Seed featuring Anna Lapwood. I didn't know who Anna was, so we looked it up, and she is from Britain, from the UK, and she plays the organ.
And she's a conductor, she's part of the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. So sounds like the perfect person to work with Aurora. I know the song The Seed. Wendy's new to all things Aurora, so we're going to explore this. Just came out a day ago, and I'm excited. Any expectations? Any emotions?
I am just ready to hear a beautiful voice.
Yes. Yeah, we just got done with some Ren.
Appreciate a really talented vocalist.
Yes, we're going to tap into some of that feminine energy.
Yeah.
Go.
Just like the sea, I don't know where to go. Through dirt and shadow I grow. I'm reaching light through the struggle. Just like the sea, I'm chasing the wonder. I unravel myself, all in slow motion.
Cannot eat money.
Okay.
Want the subtitles? Let me pause real quick. You want me to put some? I
Yeah.
think so. I only know some of it. No, it's unavailable. Damn it. We'll look at the lyrics.
You cannot ignore when the last tree has fallen and the limits are poison. You cannot ignore. Suffocate me, so my tears can be rain. I will water the ground where I stand, so the flowers can grow back again. 'Cause just like the seed, everything wants to land. We are burning our fingers, but we learn to forget.
I love that. She says when the last tree has fallen and the rivers are poisoned, you cannot eat money. It's the organ, huh? I thought we were going to be able to see them. I guess this is just like a visualizer to the live track.
Yeah.
We'll watch the original video in a second. I think that might be even more poignant. like the woods.
Well, it's very Celtic sounding.
Yes.
It's that northwestern Europe,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love the chanting. It gets under your skin. It's almost like the earth is crying out when she does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to listen to the original video clips to hear all the lyrics, or were you able to pick up on enough?
I was able to pick up a lot of it.
Okay. Talk to me. What do you think about this one?
I mean, I think about her voice is just, and her whole vibe is just so ethereal.
Yes.
I'm Scottish, and so there's a lot of that, like you said, that the earth is crying out. It's I think about the Druids and the Celts, and it's when the organ came in was really powerful because it gave off this feeling of a funeral.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Like a funeral chant or is it
Okay.
a dirge? Because for me anyway, the organ is so associated with being in church,
yes,
and hearing hymns and things like
yes,
that, and it's got just such a dark feeling to it that when she's talking about the seed and needing sunlight and needing air and things are dying and there's not going to be anything left, and so it felt like that. It felt like we were laying to rest.
Wow,
something.
That's awesome. I didn't think of that, but now that you say that, and I also associate it with church, which was neat because in the bridge, I thought I heard her say, "Feed me praise," right? And then she said, "Feed me truth, feed me air." Yeah. To me, there's that duality of, on one hand, what greed does with us. We want to be fed the power and the money and the praise, which now leads to destruction and to going hungry because we can't eat money. Yeah. Or the alternative, which is what we actually need and what the trees need and earth needs. Feed me air, feed me the sunlight, feed me truth. That's what we crave as beings. That's what nature craves.
Yeah.
Because we're all more intertwined than we realize. Yeah. The whole system, the way, not even just the obvious, that way, carbon dioxide and oxygen and how we work with trees. That's the obvious that you learn in school. Yeah. But on a much more intricate level. And I feel like the way she presents that, like you said, it works really well. Also with her heritage, Norwegian, all these stuff. But I feel like it almost, you said something earlier in a video we did with Ren, and I can't think of the word though, when it's it commands your attention. That's kind of what I feel like her delivery also does.
Oh, absolutely.
It's as if she was, representing the earth. The earth is singing to us and crying out. And
yeah, it's mesmerizing. Not only because she has a beautiful voice, but you feel compelled to believe what she's saying.
Yes. She means it.
Yeah, and to take it seriously, that there is something dying here. There's something that we're losing. And she just incorporates all those elements. I mean, I didn't get to see her, but just in the visual of it, the bare trees and the dying light and the darkness and there's just this immeasurable sense of loss over something. And it could be personal, it could be communal, it could be natural. We're talking about the earth. She could just be talking about herself. Yeah. And her own experiences. Yeah. But it's just really.
And I feel, though, I think the song is more tying in with what we're doing with this planet and what greed does. Sure. I do feel like even the idea of a seed can be looked at from a philosophical standpoint on a great scale. Because in the beginning, she speaks of the seed breaking through not opposition.
She's the seed.
Yes, almost from the perspective of the seed and the seed breaking through opposition and obstacles. Yeah. But I feel like from a conceptual standpoint, that's also what life is about. Not even just nature, but relationships. We're trying to break through obstacles. We have a choice if we're going to break through the concrete, if we're still going to bloom, if we're going to become something, what we're going to make of our life. And so if we were to look at it a little on a bigger spectrum, that also I feel is a powerful message to say, hey, you can't eat money, whatever your seed of life is, not just naturally.
Yeah.
But the choices you're making, the person you are, you're that seed. You can break through obstacles. You're going to need truth. You're going to need air. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to just operate from the place of greed? You know, we're going to just poison the rivers, not just the natural rivers, the rivers of our mind, right? What are you doing with
our soul?
Yeah, what are you listening to? What are you watching? How are you poisoning your rivers, if you will? Because at the end, there's not going to be nothing to feed off.
Yeah.
So there's so many also philosophically, conceptually things I feel like one could pull from it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I was thinking about too, the poisoning the river and thinking, it's interesting that you kind of talk about like what you're reading, what you're thinking, what you're consuming, because we are so surrounded by information and disinformation and you know, AI now is kind of jumping into the fray and so there's so much of what are we giving to ourselves? How are we nourishing ourselves?
That seed, yes.
Yeah, and is that seed going to just die in the dark or is it going to flourish? Because it does have to go through that, like you said, the obstacle does have to be in the dirt first, but what's going to give it life?
Ooh. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but you said it has to be in the dirt, which is powerful because you were earlier saying the organ makes you think of death and being put into the dirt.
Yeah.
So it's almost this cyclical, which one are we going to pick? The dying and going into the dirt or being birthed?
Or the flourishing through the dirt,
I
right?
love that.
Being nourished by it.
Yeah.
And so how do we do that? We have to nourish the dirt. We have to keep what's coming into our minds and in our lives. We have to be mindful of those things, you know, and there's so much that we can't control. But what do we do with it? Yeah. What do we do with that that's given to us? Just like, you know, the earth, I think, can heal itself so well. I think there's so much so much strength that God imbued into the earth. Yeah. And just like gave us that strength too, being made in His image. That, you know, what are we going to do with what we have been given? Because we haven't all been given the same thing. Yeah. True. Many of us, we have the fresh and the clean and the healthy environment, and then a lot of and we're given poison rivers, you know, and they can't help that. Yeah. So what are we going to do with that? And how I think there's a question inherent in the subject. I mean, in the song of, is that even can you even answer that? Are stuck, and how do you even figure out what to do? Yeah. Those questions of, okay, there's hard things here. There's no light, or there's no sunlight, and I don't have what I need. Yeah. How do I get what I need? Yeah. And so I think it makes you think about that. Yeah. It's a hard question, but it forces you to have to look at it. I love this. I love Aurora stuff. There's so much more to discover there. What do you guys think about this song? Some of you may be familiar with her song, The Seed. This was the live version with Anna Lapwood. I just am amazed by Aurora. I'm glad I got to introduce it to my friend Wendi. If you want to learn some more about Wendi Nunnery's work, she's a published author and a lot of things. Where can we find you? You can find me online. I write on my Substack, The Nook, wendinunnery.substack.com. And I also have some books that you can find on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, wherever you get your books. I have a young adult duology and a spiritual memoir, and I'm back to working on fiction now. So that's where I am right now. And I also have a podcast that I haven't produced anything in a couple of years. It's kind of more of a toolkit for people, but it's called the So OCD podcast, where I talk a lot about mental health and my own diagnosis and what that looks like living a regular life, health diagnosis. Make sure to go check out Wendi Nunnery's work, you guys. Make sure to support Aurora, subscribe here. Remember, you are loved and you matter, and we're going to see you on the next ride. Bye, guys.